Hey y'all, so for my final speech, I chose a topic that means a lot to me, prayer in public school. So I'm going to give you some information about how it is now, and then I'm going to tell you how it should be. And I'll give you some supporting reasons and evidence for my stance. So I'll tell you first how prayer in public school was shut down. In two landmark decisions, Engel versus Vitale on June 25, 1962, the Supreme Court ruled that official prayer had no place in public school. Then Abington School District versus Skimp on June 17, 1963, when they also declared that school-sponsored Bible reading and recreation of the Lord's Prayer was unconstitutional. Now these rulings I partially agree with because of the separation of the church and state according to the Constitution. I agree that the government should not force anybody to pray if they don't want to. But however, that is not how many people interpret those rulings today. Today, many people think that schools should be extremely secular, and the majority of school students cannot pray at all. That may not be the majority, as this line graph of the last 30 years show. Now, as you can see, that Americans have always supported prayer in school, but unfortunately, the minority has a very loud voice and they get their way. Now, let me tell you why I support prayer in public school and why. Now, because of separation of church and state, the schools themselves cannot tell the students to pray or what to pray. They can, however, give them time to do what they like. And because I believe in student-led prayer, not school-led prayer. Students take advantages of this moment of silence to pray for themselves. They also lead others to Christ in prayer through organizations like the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and Meet You at the Pole. And that's very important that non-Christians also support prayer in school. Now let me show you this bar graph showing a group of teenagers were asked if they supported prayer in school. And if they did say yes, they were asked if they attend church. So 50% of those that said yes did not attend church. And that is another way to lead people to Christ. Now, my last point is this. If the majority of Americans support prayer in school, then we should allow prayer in school because we're a democracy and the majority wins. My last graphic is this, showing the opinion of Americans today. So 69% of Americans say that prayer should be permitted in public school. And that's all the Supreme Court should have to hear. So to sum it up, the Supreme Court shut down school-sponsored prayer, deeming it unconstitutional. However, students should still be allowed to carry out with their own prayer with their free will. Not only do the majority of Americans think this, but non-Christians do as well. And that's a great way to lead people to Christ. So, wow guys, this summer is already over. I can hardly believe it. I've had a great summer with y'all and supporting you guys with your speeches. I've learned so much about public speaking, and thank you so much for your support. So have a great rest of the summer, and maybe I get to see y'all around campus.